If my hair looks a bit crazy, it's because I cut my own hair the other day. So it's kind of, yeah, it might look a bit weird, but that's fine. So yeah, so the first reason why is the freedom and flexibility that comes with traveling alone. I found that when I was by myself, I started to realize that when I wanted to do something, or like when I wanted to go somewhere, like it was just easier to plan those things, because for example, at one stage I decided to go back to somewhere I'd already gone because I really loved it there, and so I just wanted to go back there, and I was able to just do that because it was just me going, so it was okay. I also wasn't actually planning on going to Turkey at all, and so I was able to just like put that into my plans. So that's just that whole thing of like being flexible and with like time frames and with where you're actually going and what you're doing as well. There's like a lot of freedom there. And so yeah, I think it's just really good for that last minute, if you want to make any last minute changes. Like I'm that kind of person, so I like to do that, so it's fun. Reason number 2 is kind of important. It's like, well, I was only away for 4 months, so like that's not as long, and I was going to so many different places, so it's kind of it's not like I was in a certain city or country for very long. Like the longest I probably stayed somewhere was Ireland, and that was for about 1 month, because like I have my like grandmother over there and some of my family. Mostly I really didn't I didn't stay in one place for that long. When I went over to Europe, I took a flight from Auckland, and then it went through a couple of stopovers on the way, and I stopped off when I actually got to Europe. My destination was Munich in Germany, and the reason I bring that up, I kind of forgot the reason I brought it up, but the reason was even though I was moving around like a lot often, like I was in places for 3 days sometimes, 4 days other times, it wasn't like a long period of time, it just gave me so much time to sit and just think about things, and that led me to actually figure out a lot of my goals, like because I just had this time to be alone and this time to contemplate everything that had happened in my life. And I was quite young, I suppose, to be alone traveling, but there was other people. It was just interesting to see that there was people even younger than me, and like it just encouraged me a lot and it inspired me. I think it's just an inspiration, honestly, because I always thought like, oh, I'm so young, you know, going out and going alone by myself to travel. I would have considered having someone with me, to be honest, but a lot of my friends at the time, they were really busy with their own lives. You know, they had like university on, or they had their own full-time work, and they couldn't really leave, especially not for that amount of time. So it was just, honestly, the only option ended up being me going by myself. So I guess I just realized though when I was over there that even though everyone else had told me I was so young and everything, it wasn't really like that. Like there was, like I said, people who were actually younger as well. It's like you discover things you never knew because it's just like a new environment, it's all new and everything. And it also made me realize, because I'd been told a lot before that I was just really quiet and not really a talkative person, and I found that even though that's true sometimes, a lot of the time I also love to be around people and I love to talk. So they were just saying like, oh, you're this, you're that, but really I found that people are so much more complex than that, and then just a name like, oh, that person's, you know, quiet or loud. It's like, people are multifaceted, and I think that it's really important to remember that. And I mean, this just doesn't seem like it has much to do with traveling alone, but it's just some certain things I came to realize as I was alone traveling. And I think this kind of ties into that whole thing of personal growth, because yeah, I was like believing less of what other people told me I was, and just realizing, or actually making myself who I wanted to be, and actually finding that I can be more than just, you know, a quiet person who reads her book and just kind of keeps to herself. I love to read books and I love to just be inside and kind of be an introvert sometimes. It's great. At the same time, it can get a bit boring, so it's like, yeah, anyway. So that's all for number 2. It's a bit of a long one. But number 3 is the confidence that I gained when I was traveling. If you ever go traveling alone, it just pushes you out of your comfort zone. Like, obviously, if you've never done that before, it's gonna, like, push you out of your comfort zone. You're gonna feel like it's just something you'd never have done before, and it's just, like, all that, and the thing as well about being in new environments as well makes you care less about what other people think of you, and it's so good because you just, yeah, you're going around, you're moving from town to town, so you don't really have time to be worried about, like, what people who you probably won't ever see again, what those people are going to think, because you're not going to see them again. And yeah, I keep looking down because I have like a notebook here. What else? So standing up for myself as well, which is part of confidence. Like, I just gonna put it under confidence because obviously I think it takes so much confidence sometimes to just be able to just stand your ground, and like at one point I did have to do that. I was in the situation where I was at a train station, and when I got off the train, these 2 guards were telling me that I needed to pay this fine, and I listened to them, but I also realised like they were probably trying to scam me because there was another tourist there and he ended up just walking away because he got tired of what they were saying. I was in a public space, there was a lot of people on the platform and on the opposite side of the station who were around. They finally just stopped caring because other people started to come off the train, so I just walked away, and yeah, that was it. The last one is self-reliance, and this one seems kind of like an obvious one. Like, of course, if you're going to travel alone, you're going to learn to rely on yourself, but I just thought it was important, so I added it in because it's like you rely on yourself, you start to actually solve your problems more easily, you think on your feet more, you kind of become a bit resourceful maybe. Sometimes, like, I know I missed flights and I missed buses, and things were kind of hard sometimes. Like, it was like I felt like so foolish because I did things where I was like, why would I do that and stuff. And honestly, yeah, it was just like being alone and stuff allowed me to just stay calm and just think through the options that I had, and just, yeah, that was great. That's all for self-reliance. Like, it's a simple one, I suppose, but it's something that I think is so important, and if you do travel alone, which you should because it's so fun, then yeah, just like think about these things that I've said, because if you're dreaming of traveling and maybe you do want to travel alone anyway, and that's great, like maybe you're so excited to go by yourself, but then other people might be more hesitant. They might think, oh, like, I don't have anyone to go with me. Well, maybe just consider it as an option to go alone. Like, I'm not saying everyone is like this, like some people really just aren't really built for it, or they don't enjoy it, and that's fine. Like, but I do think that it can be a great way to just reflect and to just have fun, explore, have adventures, and you'll meet heaps of people. It's really up to you, but I hope this inspired you anyway. So that's all for the video, and I hope you guys liked it. Just like it if you want to, or just leave a comment, and yeah, thank you for watching.